All right. Um, let's get started, shall we? My name is Viking Actual, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. Now, I know that some of you might not have played it yet, so I'm not going to spoil the story. I'm just gonna touch upon like the very basic things that is in every Call of Duty game and things like that. Uh, the new things that they added, which I mean they have spoken about before. It's not gonna be like something you guys don't know about. So first things first, there is 14 missions in total. It isn't anything that'll feel too long. Quite frankly, I feel like this might have been one of the shortest campaigns that we have ever had. The missions weren't bad. They weren't extraordinary either. It was very kind of lackluster in my opinion. Everybody's gonna feel differently about it. One of the biggest changes to the campaign was the open combat missions. I don't remember, to be completely honest with you guys, if I made this video or not. Okay, I know that I wanted to make it. I know that I did make it at some point, but I don't know if I ever uploaded it. Because I didn't want to be so negative when I heard about these open combat missions. So basically what I said in the video that I recorded a long time ago is everything that they are describing in the video about open combat missions just sounds a lot like Spec Ops. They mentioned that you were going to be able to target objectives like whichever, way you wanted to in whichever order you wanted to. I was like, that's in Spec Ops. They said that you would be able to drive vehicles. I was like, that's in Spec Ops. They mentioned that you would be able to take, the mission like stealthily, or you could go all out. And I was like, that's in Spec Ops. Like, you can do all those things in Spec Ops. And they were like, oh, it's first time ever doing that. And I was like, no, like we have Spec Ops. Like that's literally Spec Ops in Modern Warfare the second and MW 2019. Like that's what they were. It wasn't anything revolutionary. I don't know if I uploaded the video, but I 100% remember thinking that is gonna be Spec Ops, just single player, pretty much. Sure enough, I got on Twitter and I saw people talking about the game just feels like Spec Ops, and I'm like, yeah. What were you expecting? Like that's quite literally what they were describing. I'm not against it, quite frankly. I kind of liked it. Contrary to what I believed at first, I genuinely think it's kind of a decent addition. It adds a little bit of replayability, whereas a straightforward mission, like you just know what you're doing. Like you're going from point A to point B to point C to point D, right? However, in open combat missions, you can do it whichever way you want. So there's a lot of crates around the map where you can basically use different weapons. So if you want to use, for example, snipers, you can use those. If you want to use shotguns, you can use those. So it gives you the freedom to choose what you want to use, and I really did like that. I didn't think, again, it was going to be anything revolutionary. I just thought it was going to be Spec Ops pretty much in single player, and that's exactly what it was. I wasn't expecting anything more. I got exactly what I expected. A lot of people are disappointed, but I was not. Regarding the story itself, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not a big fan of the story, the plot. Makarov himself, I'm a big fan of the original Makarov. I know he's a bad person, right? A villain, right? But he was very cool to me when I was a child, playing these games. I thought he was very scary. His demeanor was very to the point, right? Like he wasn't playing games or anything like that. Like he was a dangerous man. And this iteration, he doesn't really feel that dangerous to me. He just feels kind of like a terrorist. That's really all he really feels like to me. I didn't like some of the pacing for the story, because at some point I felt like it was a little rushed, to the point where some things were happening a little too fast, and I didn't actually get time to enjoy, I guess, the story. Like it was just kind of like, oh, here, okay, now this, now that, now this. It was just very fast paced in the sense that they didn't let anything sink in. Like it was just kind of like, well, this happened, so now this is gonna happen. Okay, so this happens now, so this is gonna happen. It was just very much like that. It was kind of like, I don't know. Fast pace is the best way I can describe it without spoiling the story, because I don't want to spoil it. I would just say that it felt very fast paced, very rushed. In some instances, I didn't quite like that. I felt like it could have taken a step back, to, create a better narrative, for the players, right? For the people that are playing the game. They didn't take that opportunity to do that, which is fine. The story isn't bad per se. Like I'm not, upset at it. Okay. There was one thing that upset me, but I cannot talk about it. But I'm pretty sure it's going to upset a lot of players, because it just felt kind of unnecessary. You'll know what I'm talking about once you play the campaign, but yeah, like it was just kind of like forced, kind of, almost. It just felt a little bit forced. Um, Overall, it's not a bad campaign. Like I don't have many complaints about it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, one of the worst campaigns I've ever played. Like no, one of the worst campaigns I ever played. That's probably gonna go to Vanguard. Like that was arguably the worst campaign I have ever played. This wasn't too bad. Like I genuinely think it's a decent game. Is it going to break any record? Is it going to be your favorite game of all time or your favorite campaign of all time? Unlikely. I would say if you played the original MW games, this might not even be top 3 for you. This might be like top 4, top 5, considering, the new trilogy of Modern Warfare 2019, MW2, and MW3. To me, this MW3 is probably, I would say, the worst campaign in the Modern Warfare trilogy. Just my opinion. Everybody's gonna feel differently, but to me, that's just how it feels. If you already played the campaign, let me know your rating from 0 to 10, what you rate it. If I had to rate it on that scale, I would say it's a 6.5 out of 10. It's just, I'm gonna forget about it. It's not a memorable campaign. I don't think there is anything that I genuinely loved about it. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, like, it's a fun game to play, and that's pretty much it. Does it compare to the original trilogy? I don't think so. It's just on a whole, like the original trilogy was just on a whole different level. MW 2019 I really enjoyed. MW the second campaign I really enjoyed. So yeah, this MW the third wasn't really all that well thought out, I would say, but it's not bad. Okay, so if you were kind of like on the fence, it's just an okay campaign. Like that's the best way I can describe it. It's just okay. It's not gonna blow your sneakers away. Like it's just okay. But that's pretty much it for me. Again, if you already played it, let me know your rating down in the comments below. Don't spoil anything for anybody, please. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all beautiful people next time if you stick around.
The enemy has captured 2 objectives.